Hello, and welcome to my Media Museum. Today, we're going to be looking at my Atari cartridges. Starting off with ActiVision, which I thought made a lot of really great games for the Atari. I did not keep my original Atari and my games that I had from back in the day. I sold it off to a coworker many years ago. Then one day, while I was out at the flea market, ran across an Atari for sale and felt nostalgic. So I bought a system with a bunch of games and started buying up games again. And that, led to where we are today, where I don't have a ton of them, but I've got a fair amount. You'll notice that these labels just look terrible. I've read that that's largely because of the glue that was used to apply them. It's just bled through the labels and caused this splotchiness. So some look better than others. Like with so many of my collections, I was more interested in having a playable copy than what it actually looked like. So some of these are in actually really bad shape in my opinion. You'll see as we get to them. Torn labels, stuff like that. But for the most part, I was paying 50 cents to $1 for these things. I never paid a whole lot. I might have paid $3 or $5 for some of them, but not a tremendous amount of money. As you can see, the label's torn there on that one. But I really enjoyed the ActiVision games. Yeah, this is basically a rip-off of Frogger, is what Freeway was. But Activision did a really good job, I thought. And my favorite game of all time, which we'll get to here in just a minute, was Megalomania. And I had a hard time finding a copy of that one. It took me a while. And the copy that I have is definitely not a beauty. In fact, we'll grab it here and bring it up on the screen for you to see. But I played this game to death over and over again. It had a lot of variety to it, had a number of different levels. Sure, it was pattern based. Once you figured out the patterns, you could really do well on it. But I thought it was really great for the times. This one doesn't look too bad. Pretty decent shape on that one. I've played all of these. Unlike my 45s, which I've been videotaping recently, I have tons of those that I haven't actually listened to. I've played all of these games. Not in years, actually. It's probably been 2 or 3 years since I plugged in the Atari and gave some of these a spin. But I have played them. And this was a really good one. River Raid was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorites. And Private Eye, I don't really remember too well, to be completely honest with you. But it's got some good artwork, some really nice artwork on it. Kaboom, which is the next one up here. I definitely played a lot of this one. This one was a really fun one that held my interest. Unfortunately, I have manuals for some of these, but for the most part, I was picking up just the cartridges the second time around. Like I said, I was picking these up at the garage sales and flea markets and stuff, and usually you were just getting the cart. You were lucky if you got a instruction manual, even luckier if it was in a box. I actually have one that I have the box for here, and it's one that I bought not too far back. Here's another really good one that I liked a lot with Sequest. This was a really great game. And I think I have somewhere around 175 Atari games, quite a few duplicates. May end up even showing a few duplicates because I just haven't really sorted through all of them. I have them in boxes. And we just, like I said, wasn't taking it too serious the second time around. We paid top dollar for them and buying them brand new when they were the thing, when it was, Atari was the system to have before Nintendo came along, and in my opinion and my friends' opinions, completely wiped Atari off of the face of the earth. Nintendo was amazing, especially when you're talking about The Legend of Zelda. That was the game that really ate up a lot of my personal time. Here was another one that I really enjoyed a lot, was Laser Blast. Yeah, spent quite a few hours playing this one. This one's got the labels came loose on it. I should probably get a glue stick, try gluing that down, but who knows, it might discolor the label and make it even worse. So until it's a real problem, I'll probably just leave it as it is. We get into some of the other cartridges and you'll see how the end tabs, end labels, actually fall off after a while. I've got a bunch of them that are loose. I really like the ones here that had the screenshots. That's another thing I liked about Activision. They gave you a screenshot of the game, give you an idea what to expect, what you were going to see. Some of them, the other companies, they would just give you artwork of kind of like a book where you've got an animated cover picturing a scene or an idea from the game, but not actually seeing the game itself. I'd much rather see a screenshot. And well, we only got a few more of these Activisions to go through. I think I might have a couple more out in the shed that I didn't grab for this go-round. But I did want to make Activision my first ones up because, like I said, I really liked a lot of their games. And here we've got a perfect example of one that's in rather bad shape. Somebody's puppy had some fun with this one. But it still works. You plug it into the Atari, it works just fine. And it's kind of a fun game as well. And then here's an example of one where you don't know what it is until you look at the front, because apparently that label came loose at some point, and rather than glue it back down, somebody chose to just tear it off. Okay, I wouldn't have done that, but somebody did. And this is the one and only one that I have the box for. I have the box, the instruction manual, the whole shebang on Barnstorming. And it wasn't one of my more favorite games of Activision, but it's got its moments. It's not terrible. And at the end of this video, we'll show you the box for it. But right now, I've got one more, and this was, I guess, a later one from what I seen on YouTube recently. I was doing a little bit of research on these, and they were saying that the clear white labeled versions without any graphics or artwork was near the end of the life. It's dated 1985, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was when it actually came out. But here's the Barnstorming box that I have, and you can see what I'm talking about, artist rendering as opposed to a screenshot. I'll leave that up there a bit so you can read it if you want to. And that pretty much covers us for the Activision Atari cartridges that I own.